Travis, you said last night that you guys thought Alex was coming back to the game, but in light of the fact that he didn't, just a thought on the performance of the 5 defensemen that were still in the game that all had to step up and play in different situations than maybe they normally would to help you see it across the finish line.
Yeah, outstanding. I think we all expected Eddie to show up on the bench at some point. And, I thought to a man, our back end stepped to the plate. Everyone did their job and got a job done.
Ed Willis, Post Media.
Travis, in the game, you rarely see a player drag his team into the fight, and it's usually not a goalie. It wasn't just the saves Jacob was making, it's the way he was making them, throwing his body around. Could you just talk about the energy that gave your team, and is that what happened on Wednesday night?
Well, I'd like to think our team they're all in it. I'm not worried about that. He made a couple big saves in the second period that kept us in the game. We know how good Marky is. We know he'll make a big save when we need it, and it gave us some energy. I said it last night that every once in a while in a game you hear a comment on the bench where that's the one we need. Let's go. Kind of keeps you in the game. You know it as a group, as a team, and that was definitely the case for a couple minutes there in the second period, and we got some life and got our game back.
Ian McIntyre, Sportsnet.
Hi, Travis.
Hey, man.
You sent out a very strong message through us after Game 4 about where you thought your team was at and how strong they were and how they would respond. How gratifying was it to you as a coach to see that response in the game last night?
I mean, it's gratifying. I don't think it was a message meant to. It was just a message of the way I felt. I feel that way about our group, and I know our group feels that way about themselves. I think I'd been more surprised if we hadn't come out and played a hell of a game. I just feel like our team's all in it. They're here to win. They're not here for experience. They got a lot of belief in themselves, and we're going to try to do it again tomorrow.
Farhan Lalji, TSN.
Travis, can you talk at all about the rationale for the line changes, and just how impressed were you that those guys were able to instantly play together as well as they did, because the first period was one of your better periods of the series?
Yeah, I mean, I think our group is, there's no secret. I'll switch the lines once in a while, so they're not shocked at it. And we had talked to them in the morning about the lines that we were going to use that night. Made sure everyone had a good feeling about it. That's one thing that you want, are your players to feel good about the guys they're playing with. I think at this time of the year, that's important. But I'm not surprised that they came out and played well from the beginning of the game. I'm a real believer that you can play with anyone, especially with the style of game we needed to play last night. We needed to play a fast game. We needed to try to spend some more time in the other team's zone, and we needed a commitment by our team to play a certain way. And if you do that, I don't think it should really matter who you're playing with. I thought we had like I said last night, I thought we had a good 15-minute start to the game. We turned over a few pucks. Probably didn't skate all the way through our shifts like we needed to for about 5 minutes. And I was happy with the start.
Jeff Patterson, TSN 1040.
Hey, Travis, from your playing days and coaching at other levels as well, are you a subscriber to the theory that the fourth win in any series is, in fact, the toughest to get?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard it since I was young, so I guess that is the way it is. And I do believe it. The fourth one is the hardest. The other team's going to play desperate. We're playing a championship team that obviously has a high will to win as well. And we're going to see their best tomorrow.
Ben Kuzma, Post Media.
Hey, Travis, shift length can be a big issue against a team like the Blues, who plays so hard and can play through you. It looked like the shifts were shorter last night. How big of a factor is that? Because, you know, that extra 10 seconds can sometimes lead to a big mistake.
Yeah, we've talked to our group about that. Playoff hockey is so intense. You know, being able to skate at between 90 and 100%, or being at the tail end of a shift when you're down to, you know, maybe 70%, a lot of times is the difference between getting to a loose puck and not getting to one. And I think in general, you'll find shift lengths lower when the playoffs start, and definitely as they go on. I think that's important for our group. You know, we're not a team that, you know, we don't want to play a slower game. We need to play faster. And I thought we did a good job of that last night.
Jim Morris, CBC.
Hey, Travis, maybe kind of a follow-up to what Ben just asked. In playoff series, it's usually, you know, lots of traveling. You would have made a couple flights back and forth to St. Louis now. I understand life in the bubble isn't ideal, but would one advantage be rest and recuperation and be able to get the players back up and ready to play without having to worry about flying and late nights and things like that?
I don't think it's an advantage because it's the same for both teams. I think the energy levels of both teams could be higher because you're not traveling, which would make for a better product, a better hockey game. But I don't think it's not an advantage for us or for them. I don't think it's obviously even playing field that way when it comes to travel.
Jackie Spiegel, The Hockey Writers. Go ahead, Jackie. Okay, we're going to move back to Ian McIntyre, Sportsnet.
I know how much you enjoy our daily analysis of your team, Travis. But one of the things we talked about quite a bit before this playoffs was your defensive depth and whether that would be a weak point, whether you had enough at the bottom of the lineup. And you've now played 3 games without Tyler, and Jordy Ben has come in cold. He's looked good. Fantenberg, I think, has looked really good. Could you just tell me what you think of how your defensive group, the bottom of it, has handled these playoffs?
Really well, much like what you just said. You know, we've never been a team to dwell on injuries. It's always been more of a mind frame of next man up. And you know, I think both those guys have stepped up their game. Battenberg's, you know, both of them really, and Benner, you know, to come in cold the way he did. I don't think people could understand. That's not easy to do. That's hard. And we probably weren't fully committed to it until I talked to him about how he felt. I wanted to see if there's any doubt in his mind about playing. And, you know, that's one thing about veterans. They can understand the magnitude of maybe an injury or the situation you're in. And there was never a doubt in Benner's mind that he was ready to go, and probably knew he had to keep things a little bit simple to start in his first game. And I think he's looked stronger every game actually, and he's got some composure. He's shown some composure in areas of the game where he hasn't panicked with the puck. And I know for us that meant a lot just to hear the confidence he had in himself, that he was ready to go, and that carried over a long way. And we've talked about having confidence in our team. You need to have confidence at this time of the year. You know, there's one thing to be nervous, but you still want a team that's confident in themselves individually and as a group.
Next up, we have Ed Willis, Post Media.
Are you expecting Edler to be ready Friday night?
I won't say that he's in. I won't say that he's out. I will say that I hope he's in.
Next up, Ben Kuzma, Post Media.
Yeah, that was kind of my thunder there, Travis. Jordy Ben and his enthusiasm in talking about Alex Edler and looked like he was trying to get back in last game said that in his mind, he looked like he was good to go. So I won't put you on the spot because we know about fit and not fit and hopes and prayers. And
I'll check in with Benner to make sure that it's in or out then, and maybe I'll get another
is there
answer.
a fine for that? Is there a fine for that? You didn't get the memo, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And Farhan Lalji.
Travis, what's your thought on Brock's game currently? Does he look as confident to you offensively as you'd like him to be?
Yeah, I think, a guy like Brock is a shooter. Finding time and space isn't always easy. I think the big thing for him is to keep shooting. I think with Brock, I think he looks confident. I think, there's no reason not to be. Just maybe if you haven't scored in a couple games, I don't think that's a reason to not be confident. It's just be confident in what you have to do to help the team win. I think as a shooter, he should keep shooting and shoot more if he can. And I'm not worried about Brock at all. I think he's fine. As far as confidence goes, should have no reason not to feel confident. And, again, we've talked to our group. Playoff hockey it's not about what you do as an individual. It's about what you do as a team. And so I don't have any reason to worry about him.